I'm Rob Skeoch, and I'm a former professional photographer. And in my career, which has kind of spanned about 50 years, I shot about 25 years of film and then 25 years of digital. Now, I find myself in Cuba where I'm shooting underwater video for other people's documentaries, other people's nature shows. I sell the pictures, I sell the video to, National Geographic Channel or Discovery Channel, people like that. In the evenings, when we're not diving, I try to take photos. And I've been working around where the dive center is, but it's not much of a town. So we decided to take an excursion to a larger town about half an hour away, and it's Cienfuegos. Now, I'm probably saying it wrong. I speak zero Spanish. But Cienfuegos is a larger city, maybe, like I said, half an hour away. And it is, it's kind of a French background as compared to Spanish. So we're walking around in the downtown core. It's not the tourist area. There's not really a tourist area, but it's kind of like the tourist area. And I think it's important when you're walking around with a camera, and I'm using a Leica M7 with a 35mm lens and black and white film. I've brought altogether 6 rolls of film, 1 camera body, and 1 lens. Now you wonder why I would do that. That's because I had 2 suitcases, both at 49 pounds of dive gear and dive cameras, because that's the purpose of the trip, was to dive. So now I'm in town with just my Leica and 1 lens. And I think it's important to take a photo earlier than later. So this is the first shot that I kind of got. The color shots are done with the iPhone, gives you an idea of what it looks like. But the black and whites are obviously done on, Kent Mirror 200 or HP5. So I think it's important to take something and get kind of rolling and shoot a frame and run it through run the film through the camera a little bit, kind of get yourself opened up to it. So this is the first shot, and none of these shots are super amazing, but they're interesting because of the thought process. So we continue to walk around downtown. It's kind of starting to rain. We come up against this. We come up to this guy who's really a taxi. And he lets me take his picture. So is it a portrait? Well, it's a picture of a taxi driver, so whatever it is. So that's what we got here. Now, these are all printed in my darkroom. Some were tougher to print than others. Basically, dodge a little bit, burn a little bit. And these are just printed on resin-coated paper just to, I just really wanted to show the viewers what I was getting. Now, in the center square of this town, it's a beautiful area, and kids are playing soccer, as they always do. I always try to shoot kids playing soccer. It's a funny reason, though. Every 4 years, the World Cup comes out, and every 4 years, a bunch of books on soccer are created around the world. And I've had quite a few pictures published in these books. One of the books was 1 picture from every country of soccer. And so I think I got a picture in there from like Rwanda or somewhere in Africa. So I do always photograph soccer if I see it. And it makes for an interesting black and white picture, but there's also this weird background to it where there's always these books done because of the World Cup soccer. Books on soccer are done. We continue on our walk, and there's some people playing dominoes. Now, this one doesn't really work because the shutter speed wasn't fast enough, and the people are moving, particularly in the background. So, you try, and you fail, and then you move on. And then this final picture, let's call it a portrait, this gentleman is sitting outside, and he's kind of collecting beer cans. He's just sitting there waiting for us to finish our beer. The light is interesting because it's just raining, and there's basically no real directional light or contrast. And he's sitting there, and I think I shot this wide open. It's not even super sharp optically. It's in focus, not amazingly sharp. And maybe it's just the low light and the shutter speed. An old man sitting there waiting, shot with a Leica M7 35mm. I think I shot it wide open. Anyways, you go on an excursion, you take your chances, and hopefully you'll get a great photo some days. You don't get one every day, but if you don't go, you won't know.